the affordability of trying to stack all the things that you need to run a team is pretty expensive, and Real makes that super easy.
Setting my team up for something that was long-term success was more important to me. And I was like, the risk of like, let's go build this thing, it's still very exciting. All right, Erik Hatch, my Fargo brother. What's going on, man?
That's like the nicest you've ever been to me right there with just that intro. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Short and sweet and to the point.
Hey, here's somebody I know from Fargo.
Yeah. All right, dude. I'm excited to dig in with you because we joined Real at around the same time and had some similar stories a little bit in joining. So I'm excited to kind of dig into that. But tell me your real estate journey and how long have you been at Real?
So I got licensed at the end of 2005, did part-time for 5 years, was with a mom and pop brokerage, and then Keller Williams from 2008 to 2013. I got kicked out of Keller Williams in 2013, went to a rebound independent brokerage for 9 months. Yeah, it was my rebound girlfriend. Went really well. And then I opened up my own brokerage in 2014 and shut it down to move everybody over to Real in August of 21.
That's definitely something that I want to dig into more, especially now, because I think that where we are today and us owning our tech and all of these things, like I feel as if Real is so very well positioned to help large teams and independent brokerages streamline their operations. So,
well, when you and I came over, I was told by Tamir that like, hey, this is a tech company.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, okay.
And then you sold all the tech.
Yeah. I can't wait to be a part of this tech company, having been a part of Keller Williams and listening to them say, hey, we're now a tech company. And I just kind of rolled my eyes. And now it's like the affordability of trying to stack all the things that you need to run a team is pretty expensive, and Real makes that super easy.
All right, so let's rewind back to 2021. You know, I joined in April, you joined in August. And so we kind of joined it around the same time. You know, I know that you were doing a lot of research on brokerage and being courted by some and things like that. And so I kind of want you to tell the story of when you flew to New York to meet Tamir.
Yeah.
And how that went, and kind of how that's grown into our culture that it is today.
It was the end of 2020 when I looked around and I'm like, I don't know if the independent game is the end goal. I thought I was the top of the totem pole. Like I was giving everything to everyone.
Well, how many homes did you guys sell that year?
In 2020, we were 866.
Yeah.
And then 2021, we did 1,024. So, I mean, we were a significantly high producing real estate team.
Yeah.
And independent was, I thought, the end all be all. But I saw my agents were not getting all the opportunities that I thought they were. Like we were just reliant on me. And that's a really dangerous thing, is just be reliant on me or you. But mostly me.
I was gonna make fun of you in that. Like, oh, you must have hated that. You must have hated that.
I mean, I just hate being the center of attention. It's just the worst.
Woe is me.
That heavy reliance, though, I saw as dangerous.
No, but it is, yes, like the break point of one kind of thing.
So whether it be from giving my agents ownership opportunity, I also had some like super high producing agents, Katie, like selling 80 to 120 homes a year. And I knew it wasn't a forever plan for them to stay with me.
Well, and it's tough. Like, I mean, I don't know what your economics were as an indie, but it's like as an independent brokerage, like or as a broker owner, whether it's an independent brokerage or like you're a manager of a brokerage of a brick and mortar, like you have agents selling 80 to 100 homes, like they're not paying you 50% on every deal.
They were on like the first 20.
But you know what I mean? Like they're not.
It goes in the margin shrinks. So my profit margin in 2021 was 11%.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, we did $7.5 million in GCI, so like that's an okay spot.
I can't even do that math. Like I don't think my calculator on my phone works that well.
I almost made a joke and I didn't make a joke
because I didn't have my abacus.
It was so fun. It was a profitable venture, but I also was spending $225,000 a month to run my team. Yeah. Right. I was risking almost $3 million a year to run a team. Well, and that's a stress that I don't ever wish upon anybody.
And like economics aside, who all did you like collaborate with or talk with or do things with then when you were an independent brokerage in 2021?
Yeah, I was in a network called RATE, Radio and Television Experts, kind of top agents from every market that are using radio and TV for marketing. It was 8-year-old Keller Williams relationships, but like I own a coaching company too, so I'm not hopping into Tom Ferry or Buffini or Chet Black or other things. I'm just like blazing my own trail and hoping people find me. And it was lonely.
But like all of those things, when you're coaching other people, like yes, there's community, but like are those people that you're helping to grow their business, or are those people that are helping to grow yours? You know, like I'm not hearing much of like, oh, I had this, like I have this peer to peer.
I was the feeder.
You know,
in almost everywhere I went, especially my coaching thing, right? Like if you're the one providing the value and creating the community, you're void of other people.
You're learning, but like it's not the back and forth. And so
I'm on this hunt, and I recognize like I got to do something more. And truthfully, I saw EXP, and I'm like, this can't be real. Like in terms of like when I heard and understood the ownership that people got and the revenue share opportunities.
Well, coming from Keller Williams, you didn't seem like that was a thing, or you didn't think that it was truthful?
Profit share makes tens of dollars a month, right? It's so interesting. I'll look back, and I had made a post in 2013. It just happened on my Facebook memories.
Reminder,
memories. And in 2013, I was like, Keller Williams shared this much money in profit share, and I was like, I got $800 or something like that. And some people we know in the time we have this conversation have made $800, right?
Yeah.
But it was never about the money, Katie. It was always about like I wanted to make sure my agents were poised for the next chapter, myself included. And so that meant resources and opportunity and culture. And so I looked at everybody. I had a 7-figure offer from EXP to join. I had a company called Fathom offering me $750,000 in stock. And I flew out to New York City to meet Tamir and the C-level executives and the board. This was the first time they had met since COVID hit. They hadn't met for 12 months. And so we're in the back of this restaurant. I mean, it was as janky as you could get. We went to Real's corporate headquarters. It was like 300 square feet.
On like 24th Street or
20. Yeah. I mean, it was just bizarre. And they gave us an entire day. And I went out with some other team leaders, Jordan Terrell being one of them, who's one of our partners here at Real. And we went and we're like, are we going to actually do this? And I'm like, I really love the company. I really love what it stands for. I love the opportunity. The energy is right. And so I sit with Tamir and I'm like, hey, Tamir, I have these other offers and it's financially irresponsible of me not to have massive considerations. So like, what can you give me? What can you promise me?
Yeah.
And he says to me, he's like, well, first he says, Erik, the opportunity that you have is the same opportunity that everybody else has.
Yeah.
Because the company will reward those that help it to grow.
Yeah.
And then he says, if our marriage begins because I offer you the nicest dowry, it doesn't mean we're going to have the best marriage. And I was like, damn it, I hate that because that's a really good answer.
You're like, so that means no on the money? Does that, let me just be explicit. Let's be,
But can I please have $1 million?
Yeah.
And he's like, Erik, if you are who we think you are, and if you can do what you say you're going to do, like you're going to get way more than that. And you just have to make sure you join the place that's the best opportunity, that's the right fit for you. And he's like, we'd love to have you, but we understand if you consider those other options.
Yeah, I took my like PDF that I got from Compass, right? Because I assume Compass probably isn't in Fargo.
It's not, no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we barely have vehicles and phones.
Yeah. Your horse-drawn carriages. No, but so I took my package from Compass and I went to him and I was just like, hey, like this is what they're offering. Do you think that we could figure out something with like RSUs or options or something like to help with the transition over and then, to whatever. And he was basically like, he chuckled and then was like, if that's what is most important to you, I think Compass would be a great fit. And then like didn't say anything. Like Tamir's very good at like saying something and then just shutting.
Such a ballsy statement. I love that.
And I was like, okay, well, yeah, I appreciate it. I just figured I had to ask. And then I'm like texting my husband because like we were on a Zoom, the three of us.
You were Caldwell at the time, right?
Yeah. Okay. Ryan, me, and Tamir were all on this Zoom, and I'm like texting Ryan because we're in our separate offices. I'm like, what the fuck? I shouldn't have said that. Like whatever. And so then we get off the phone, and I don't know about you, but for me it was like very compelling to think about like hundreds of thousands of dollars kind of thing, right?
Well, I turned down 6 or 7 figures.
Yeah.
That's crazy for somebody on the outside looking in to be like, why in the world did you turn that down?
So 2 things. One was I felt that there was something here that we could build, but it was just a feeling, and that's scary. And then 2, the other thing that I think about a lot is like, if I went to Compass, if you went to EXP, if you went to these places and they ink you a check for 500, $1 million, whatever it is, that's so great for you. But like when I looked at going from Coldwell to Compass or Coldwell to Real, my agents could make more money here. They could make more per transaction, every deal, simple, dollars and cents. They could make money off of revenue share. They could make money off of stock purchase program. They could make money off of all of these things that at Compass, they would actually be making less money than Coldwell, but we would have been at Compass. And my pocketbooks would have been lined. And so when I thought about it on the long term, I was like, okay, like this would be great for me. But like, I mean, you'd blow through that money pretty, like, it's not like you'd take that money and reinvest it in your business. Like we'd be like, oh, I'm going to buy this investment property and, I've been eyeing a new car and there goes all the money. Right. And so setting my team up for something that was long-term success was more important to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, the risk of like, let's go build this thing was is still very, I mean, we talked about it last night for hours. Like it's still very exciting for me. And, it's, we joined at around 3,000 agents and now, 30,000. So yeah, those were the things for me that really kind of stuck out with those conversations.
We saw our side of the coin where we said no to the upfront offer because we saw the greater fit, but we lost somebody that we thought we had. We had this team coming over that you and I are connected with. And we thought, oh, this is going to go really well. But they were offered 7 figures from another company. And at the 11th hour, they didn't turn that down because it just seemed tempting. And it's such an interesting cause for pause to try and take a look to say, what's the right long-term strategy? Because part of it is on hope and faith. And I think that you and I had hope and faith that Real was going to turn into what we thought it would.
But 2021 and 2026 are two very different things.
Yes,
and so
they
like
are.
where there was a lot of hope and faith, like I feel like we've proven, like proof of concept is here, right? And so one of the things that you have said no less than 1,000 times over the last 5 years.
Is it referencing the books I've written?
No, God, no. That'd be no less than 1,000,000 times. Fuck. Like, if we're betting millions of things on something, it'd be you talking about being a published author. It's weird when you publish your own book.
I've sold tens of copies. Yeah, it's really great.
He's sold them by giving them away.
That's right.
He's bought them all himself.
It's money well spent. Really.
Yeah. He's like, I spent that $1 million from EXP on buying my own book. I'm a New York Times bestseller. I'm sorry.
No, I brought it up.
I know.
So what have I said?
Eric and I,
no less than 4,000 times.
Eric and I are friends, but we show
Is it
love.
frenemies? Is that what it is?
We show love by being mean to each other. And so the meaner we are, it actually is the deeper our friendship is. So if you're watching this and you're like, God, these people are assholes, that's why. He's like the ginger brother I never wanted.
Be worried when Katie is nice to you.
Okay, so let's rewind. What I was saying is something that I've heard you say over and over and over again over the past 5 years is earned, not given. And I think that that's the one thing that I've always used as a selling point for the company. When I heard you say that phrase, what that means to me is that like we all love equal opportunity. Right. Everyone's on the same plan. There's no backroom deals and, hey, I'll give you this split, but don't tell anyone. And that's all, when I see agents leaving brokerages at the 11th hour, the brokerage comes back and they're like, oh, well, Eric, for you, we'll give you 90-10 and any agent you bring on, I'll give you $1,000 and all these things that try to match what Real's doing. And I was having those same conversations and I was like, I finally had to like draw the line and be like, guys, like this is going to get awkward because like, I don't think you're going to match the opportunity and potential that I have here. So like, I'm just going to like respectfully say thank you and like tell you like, once again, I'm leaving, And so, that's where I think it's interesting because if you're an agent that's considering Real, because that's like kind of what this video is, and you're considering like, do I take a check from a company or do I do the other thing? Like for me, when people say no, in my mind, that's like just not right now. Because I have many people in my group that have joined me personally that like I talked to 5 years ago. It was a no in year 4. And then, in the past 24 months, they've come over. Right. And so it's like everyone goes through a journey that is theirs. Right. And everything kind of happens for a reason. And so I think for me, I went to a Gen Blue with Coldwell Banker. Right. And I met Tom Ferry and I'm like, I like this guy. I'm going to watch his YouTubes. Right. Then like I went to a Tom Ferry event in person and then I joined coaching a couple years later. And then I met all of these people who are now, in my upline and downline and all of these things. Right. But like if I never would have gone to that first event, would I have like had that obsession with watching Tom Ferry YouTubes, which then led to going to an event, which then led to joining coaching, which then led to meeting all these people, Yeah.
The conversation up front when you very first decided to be all in with Tom Ferry wasn't, hey, do you want to be all in with Tom Ferry? It was like a drug dealer always gives you a little taste, right? And I've never done drugs, but I watch Breaking Bad, so I feel like I'm pretty equipped.
I was gonna we could just say Breaking Bad. We don't Yeah,
it's pretty cool. I can hang.
Yeah.
And so with that, if you get a little taste, the little taste is like somebody that you trust and somebody that you like in the company, or you see something about it that has a glimmer of like, I wonder if. And my favorite thing to do when it comes to agent attraction is if somebody is committed, let's say Connor has committed and he's like, yeah, I'm ready to come to Real. that's what we call the golden hour, right? The golden hour is when the sun is setting and everybody looks great in pictures. And that's when he's going to look the most fantastic when it comes to agent attraction. And so he can go to people and say like, hey, I'm really considering this model. Would you take a look at it? And then it's so warmly received. And I actually think that every step of that journey until somebody signs on the dotted line is the golden hour.
Yeah.
That they're going to look great, because we're so quiet about these brokerage moves because we're afraid of ruffling feathers. But if we talk to people that we trust, we're going to find our tribe that much more.
No, 1,000%. I mean, and it's difficult because it's like there's so many stories of like a broker or an office manager hears that you might, and they just like, you might leave and they just like disassociate your license, which I'm like, you know, I know that I have some missteps, and probably those people that hate me aren't watching this, but like, you know, I always try to be just as good on the way out as the way in, because like, you know, who knows if it's going to work out for the next place someone goes. And if they want to come back here, I want them to feel as if that's something that's a welcome opportunity, you know? And I mean, you ran a team for a very long time and had many agents. And so like, you know, as we would hope that every single exit was good, like not all of them were. And it's like, those are the learning experiences now to be like, oh, okay, like this is how I should have done that. And this is like how I hope that I can make people feel when they're coming and going.
You know, what's wild is I had said, when I took a look at this, I knew that my agents weren't going to be with me for forever. And sure enough, I joined Real in August of 21, and everybody stayed with me. I had 35 to 40 agents that were on my team when we made the move, and not a single one left, which I think is hard to do for some people. They expect 10 to 15% of people are just going to drop.
And if they think that everyone's going to come, and then 10 to 15% of people don't.
Yep. I thought everybody was going to leave, and then everybody stayed, which was great. And then, of course, that changed, and we had 2 people leave Real, but everybody else stayed with. And I got to tell you, Katie, it sucks when somebody leaves your team. You take it personally. At least I do. I have feelings.
That was a joke that I don't have feelings. That was the joke.
You take it personally. It feels like an attack.
No,
they're just doing it for them.
Even if like it's someone that you like didn't want to be on the team and they come and give notice, it's like a breakup.
Yeah.
Right. Like I wanted to break up with you before you break up with me. And then it's like, but you did it first. I'm like, fuck, like it feels bad. It doesn't feel good.
Yeah. I'd say in the last 5 years now, I've probably had, of the 40 agents, I've probably had 25 of them leave my team. People stay on a team an average of 36 months, right? So they cycle through, they cycle out. I still have some of those agents still with me, but every single agent is still at Real except for 2 of them, which just says like I was part of the value proposition as the team, but we gave them a safe haven. Now, the fortunate part is that some of them are attracting agents and some of them are doing things. So financially, I'm still tied to that. But emotionally, after the breakup heals, I'm like, I still love this person. I still care about them.
Yeah.
And I'm still tied to them.
Well, and that's where I think that, you know, in talking to indie brokerages and team leaders, like we know that for the most part, as you said, like you generally people won't stay on for life, but it's like it does allow that opportunity to continue to support them, especially if they want to grow their own team or do something like that, that like you're still financially aligned. And I think it's gives you another option, right? And the other thing that like a lot of people don't talk about is like, you know, at a lot of these legacy brokerages and brick and mortars, it's like very difficult for an agent to start their own team, right? Like whether it's
they're just not designed for it.
Whether it's $50,000 caps. Like I was talking to an agent the other day at Keller Williams, and they're like, "Well, I have to keep my team under 3 agents because if I go up to 4, then my cap jumps by 20." Like it was just a crazy amount. I mean, and I mean,
Yeah.
And I was like, that's just not a way to live, right? Like if your goal is growth and expansion, like, and you're penalized for doing so. Like I get that it doesn't necessarily make the brokerage as much money, but like you want more deals and you want more transactions, and like, so there's that. But what I was going to say is it's very easy to grow a team because if I add you onto my team, I'm not adding onto my total cap. You have your own cap. You're responsible for your own cap unless I'm paying for it. But like in the way that the basic math works is like you're your 6K on my 12K. So if I add you, it's not making mine 18.
Right.
I'm still 12 and 6. So that's very good for team leads. And then the other thing is like if you're leaving my team, there's no additional startup costs. Like, at some brokerages, like then you'd go to a 50-50 split with the brokerage, or you'd have this, or you'd have these fees. Like you can go out on your own and there's no monthly fees. It's very easy for you to go out on your own and have a little bit of runway to be able to start your own business individually,
right.
As opposed to like, okay, well now you're on the shitty split and we're going to make it difficult for you, or you just have to leave the brokerage completely. Like there are some where it's like if you're not on my team, then you can't be here.
We haven't ever talked about this, but when I joined Real and when you joined Real, did you have a team when you joined?
I did.
Real wasn't designed for teams.
Real wasn't designed for much when we joined in 2021.
But like it's such a different process now, right? It's set up and the fact that we have this pro teams platform, like everybody can kind of choose what's right for them, which is such a fantastic model, because you use that Keller Williams example, right? As well, if I go from 3 agents to 4 agents, then my cap changes by $20,000. Like,
or what? Yeah.
That just doesn't exist here. It's now, I can say Real is designed for teams now, which is great. I always tell people, like, you got to understand though, moving sucks no matter what you do. There's going to be some bumps in the road. Don't expect it to be perfect. And we'll get better every time. But there's a huge opportunity for people to move more than just one person at a time, and it actually was way easier than most people think.
Well, and I did an interview with like Josh Rogers and Kelly Melody, and like when they moved from Keller to EXP, like it was terrible.
Yeah.
And then like they were like, it was so easy moving here, and I was like, I think that it was easy moving here because of our tools and our systems and all of the things. I was like, but also like y'all have gotten better and know like, okay, these are the things that we need to do, and this is how it needs to be organized, and so I think that like, if you are, a team looking to make a move to brokerages, like the two things that I always tell people is, one, you need to just tell your team, like, just go sell homes. We'll figure out all the forms. We'll figure out what needs to be signed. We'll figure out like the compliance shit later. Just go sell homes and like do what you need to do. Like, the buyer rep, the contract, a listing agreement, like just go do that. And then we'll figure out the back end stuff later. And then that, like, as far as like the moving and things like that, like just have a plan for when, like if you have 20 people, when everyone's licenses are moving, right? And like if you can just do those two things, like it should go a lot smoother than because I feel like people just get so bogged down and slowed down when they make a move.
Yeah, there's a final piece to that. Of course, there's the move itself, which can be taxing and exhausting. But I also think it takes like 6 months to really get your sea legs. And
learning
and to jump in and to utilize it all. Because if you're coming to Real because, well, I can save $12 on my cap, but you don't actually utilize the network, the resources, the tech, the opportunities, the community, it feels like everywhere else.
Yeah.
And if you're going to jump in and if you're going to make the time and the energy to make the change, I think you got to give it a full run of 6 months.
Well, and that's where like, I know that I could do a better job, but like I am trying to make sure that all the people that come over, with me and in my group are aware that there are these calls, that there's calendars, of Real community calls that you can get on. And, whether that's your CEO Connect or my RevB call on Mondays or, Tim's call monthly on Tuesdays, like Dusty has a monthly or a weekly Monday call. Like there are so many calls that people can get on. And like often I'll talk to agents that are like either leaving or, have been here for 6 months and they have no idea. Right. And so it's like, although it's in the onboarding checklist and it's like, oh, hey, here's this link, like, they're just trying to click through to it so they can go like put a contract in. Right. And so I think that if you are an agent that's looking to make a change to come over, asking your sponsor and asking the people you've talked to at Real, like, well, how can I plug into these things? Because the people that I've seen that have taken, like Josh Rogers is an example, he dove in with all 10 toes, right? Like they jumped in so strongly. And when he first came over, we were laughing about this the other day. Like, I was like, man, this guy is like so persistent. Like he's always texting, he's always this, he's always that. But like, he knew that was going to be the differentiator being here. He's like, we can't just keep our head down. I mean, they're $100 million team. Like we can't just keep our head down and sell real estate and not do this. Like we have to make the effort to do what you just said. And so if you're thinking about making a change, I think that one, even before you come over, right? Like, ask to attend masterminds and there's a ton of in-person stuff happening.
That's how you get a little taste, right? The old Breaking Bad style. It's the old throwback.
Yeah.
Katie, I want to say this is I think there's a lot of people that are afraid to make a move because of the emotional ties of where they're at.
Oh my God. When I talked to my broker, like he and I both, and Ryan was sitting there looking at me, but I almost cried. Like, me. You know me. Like I was like, yeah, so it's just like it's gonna, we're doing this, and like I'm sitting there and I'm like, why is my body doing this, right? Like my body was defying me, right? Like, and then he's sitting there looking at me and we both have tears in our eyes, and Ryan's just like, the fuck did I walk into?
Yeah.
It's tough. It's hard.
I just want to acknowledge that. Like I don't have a solution for it. I think it's easy to say like, well, the only thing that matters is you take care of you and the rest will fall into place. But I'll say like, it's so emotionally heavy, and that's why people move slow or they don't move at all. But I look back and for you and I both, moving to Real has changed our family's future for forever, because we were sitting on lottery tickets and we didn't know how to cash them in.
Yeah.
And so it's been a fun ride so far.
Yeah. No, it's, what are you excited about for 2026 and beyond?
I think that there's been different seasons. We had the work hard, be kind of original foundation, and then we moved into a chapter with some real accelerated growth of Sharon and agents getting really fired up about things, and we're in this like reinvention time now where I think I referenced this to you last night. This is like the Mean Girls kind of end scene where Katie throws out a piece of the crown to everybody, and she's like, "We're all princesses," or like, and it's like we all have this.
I thought it was queen, like home. Queen?
I think it is queen. Yeah,
queen.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a queen.
Spring fling queen.
You're a queen.
So yeah. But that's kind of what Real is doing right now. Is they're like, Katie, like, take things and run with it. Erik, take things and run with it. And that's a really fun chapter to be in. Is like, I continue to describe Real as moldable clay, not dried, crusty Play-Doh. Like, our fingerprints are all over it, and we get to shape it into what it is. And that, for me, is my favorite part of this company to this day, is that I feel like it's mine. So
what advice would you give to someone, like, if they're looking to get involved with that? Because, like, often it's like, oh, well, like, you're you, so that's why, you know.
If,
and so,
if
like,
they're already at Real.
Yeah. Or if they're coming over and, like, they want to be, because, like, you know, I mean, you have tons of calls and conversations with people and conversations with people that are considering maybe making a move. And it's like, you know, people are always like, oh, well, I want to do that. I want to do that. And then, I mean, you know me, like, for me, it's like, do your actions and your words align? And everyone says they want to do the thing, but not everyone actually does the thing, like whatever it is. Right.
We had a guy bring over a really large team, and he almost left because he showed up and was super frustrated that the table wasn't set for him. He just misunderstood what was offered and promised. What was offered and promised was, hey man, Real can and will launch you into whatever it is you want to be launched into. If you want leadership and responsibility and influence and impact, and you want to serve agents and all those things, Real has all those opportunities for you. He expected them to say, move into this role and we're going to let you operate. And instead, Real says, build your damn table. And that's where we find ourselves now, is if someone is on the sidelines currently at Real or looking to come over on the sidelines saying, like, I want to have a seat, will you build your seat? And you come along and you say, hey, who can I serve and what can I do? And half the things I've created have been absolute trash, maybe even more than half, and they have fallen to the wayside, but I'm going to keep innovating and creating, and you're going to do the same, right?
Well, and I think some of it is especially if you're coming over to the company, it's like observing at first, right? And like seeing, like, okay, I'm going to attend some calls, I'm going to go to some events, I'm going to do the things. And then it's like, you know, I've had similar conversations, and I'm like, well, like, come to the things, and then, like, what's your thing, what's your whatever, and, like, let's do this, like, let's do it, let's build it. So yeah, it's always just interesting to hear other people's perspective and everything like that. All right, is there anything that we didn't talk about that, like, you either talk about with people when you're discussing Real, or anything that, like, you're like, oh, I should have said this. We should have talked about this.
The only thing I would say, and I try to make sure I say this on every attraction call I have, is like, listen, Real is not a 10 out of 10. It's striving to get better every day. And I actually go back to when I was in college. This is one of my favorite stories. I saw this advertisement in my dorm that this fraternity called Alpha Tau Omega was having a poker night with Hooters girls. And I'm like, well, I'll go check it out and support the local fraternity and Greek system. And so,
always here to serve the community.
That's right. And I was a goody two shoes in high school, and I was a degenerate my freshman year of college because I was just trying to figure out who I am.
Pendulum swing. Yeah.
That sure swung. And I was like, this place sucks, but I got to hang out with Hooters girls and play poker for the night. They gave me a bid to join. And I'm like, I'm not going to join this place. But in there was an invitation to a party that night with free booze and sorority girls. And I'm like, I guess I'll check it out one more time. And so I went to the party, and what was left was gin and Hawaiian punch only. And so I still can't drink gin to this day.
So you threw up red that evening.
Very much so. But one of the members, his name's Casey, came up to me and was a great listener for like 20 minutes, asking me all of these questions about myself. And then he said, you know what, Hatch? We could really use a guy like you. And when I'm privileged to have attraction conversations, I love trying to say this is why Real is great, but I actually think when the right people find it, I can say, Katie, you know what? Real would really be fortunate to have somebody like you. Like, we'd really benefit from having you here. And so I think that those are the people that I'm called to surround myself with, are those that want to come in and to help make it better. Because we need more help to make this company better than what it is right now.
No, I love the not a 10 out of 10 comment, because like sometimes I'll get on a call with someone in my group or for someone, just from like stemming from AAU, right? Like we get to know a lot of people like across networks and across groups. And so it's like, whether it's regionally or just like they need help, like I'll hop on calls and, people are like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. It's the best company. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me. It's changed my life. It's done all these things. And I'm like, it's like, don't get me wrong. I love Real. I love all of our people. I love the company. But I'm like, whoa. Like, let's roll it back a little bit, because I think too often it's like you feel that way, but like not everyone does. And as we said, it's hard coming over, it's hard doing these things. And it's like, I want to make sure you have realistic expectations, you know?
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, I appreciate you.
Shake and bake.